I'm looking at the Glasgow Tenement building that I'm trying to construct, and I was trying to figure out how I can replicate the colour of the stone that was common in Glasgow in the 50s and early 60s, before they began to demolish these buildings or renovate them. And when they were first constructed, they were made from a kind of red or umber sandstone product. And over the years, in the industrial centre, with soot and pollution, all the buildings in Glasgow turned grey or black, and it was very dismal. And it wasn't until maybe the 80s that they began to try and recover the original sort of brilliant colours of the sandstone. So what I'm going to try and do is use some pastel colours, and with the use of a piece of cotton, try and recreate the colour that I've been speaking about. But in order to do that, I have to shave off the pastel. So I'll be right back. So I'm back with a blade, and this is a burnt sienna, and I'll try that and maybe layer darker colours over the top of it. So it's just a case of scraping off some of the powder. And then, in order to make it go on smoothly and not rough, I'm going to add in some talcum powder, and then take a cotton pad, find a clean area, and just get some on there. And I'll do it the end part of the building. I think I explained before that this is probably a result of demolition of the adjacent or the extension of this building as a result of redevelopment, or that a bomb had landed there during the Second World War, and they had to demolish that part of the building. So let's see how this goes, and it's a case of just rubbing it in. Probably need a little bit more. Okay. Now I'd say that that's probably too light. Find something darker. Anyway, we'll try this one. Can't really see what colour it is, but we'll lay this over the top. I just shake off the excess. And I'm going to give it a quick burst with this matte finish spray that will cause the application of the pastel to darken somewhat, and then I can layer on again and get a deeper colour. Now I just had to step outside the room to spray the cardboard because it's an awful smell, and you should really be in a well ventilated area and wear a mask. But as you can see, it's darkened up a little bit, and I'll continue with the process here. And this is more of a sort of dark brown. We'll try that. And we'll just do the same thing, get a little bit of talcum powder, pick this up, and you can see it's getting a bit darker. Now I'll give this a spray and then we'll try something else. So I just sprayed that surface again and it's becoming a little bit darker, probably close to the colour it may have been when it was first constructed. So I'm going to try and change the colour up progressively. So this is a grey colour, and we'll see what difference that makes. Get some more talcum powder on there. So for those of you who lived in Glasgow or any other industrial centre in Britain through the 50s and 60s or before, this will probably begin to make a little bit more sense, where you begin to recognise the actual colour that the buildings were. So I'm going to spray it one more time and then I'll try and darken it up again. So I've sprayed it again, it's still drying a little bit. You can see some wet spots there, but it is getting darker, and this time I'm going to add some black to give it that sooty appearance, reminiscent of the industrial riverside centres in Glasgow and other major British cities. So it's gotten a little bit darker. Might require a few additional coats of this dark colour to achieve a level of sootiness that we want to see. Well, I've given the building an additional coat powder from the pastel powders, and then sprayed it again with the fixative, the matte finish. Stunk the place up, and it's beginning to look like an old tenement building. And I'll continue on with the front of the building and see how the bricks show through. I should probably have done this before I put the windows on. This just means I'm going to have to do a wee bit extra work in order to get it finished, but I think you get the idea There's still some reaction happening, if you can see it. Kind of whitish stain, but that may work out, and we'll see how we progress. It's all experimentation at this point, because I've never tried to colour this material before, and a good little exercise to go through, and it may provoke me to investigate a different material, but I think you get the idea from this. Anyway, once again, excuse me, the card is from like foolscap paper. You get the cardboard on the back, take that off and use that as a construction material, and I'm using Grumbacher pastels, some baby powder, and the Krylon matte finish, and let's get some cotton pads for mixing it up, and away you go. So I hope you've enjoyed this little introduction to trying to colour early 20th century Glasgow or other British industrial city tenement building that was indicative of those around large manufacturing, engineering, shipyard locations where they housed the masses in awful conditions. So until the next time, bye for now.